We typically try to lose weight several times a year. Usually, we have that New Year's resolution we make. And then, of course, bikini season's coming, so we try to lose it then. And don't forget, we're going to try to lose weight before our birthday. I know I used to do this. We typically fail. Why do we fail? We fail because we're afraid. Let's talk about the top three things that we're afraid of and what I can share with you so that you can overcome them. So, the first fear we have is the fear of trying new things. In order to do a new diet, we automatically see that there's going to be new foods. And because we like our foods, we're comfortable with our foods, those are the foods that we eat pretty much every day. Those are also the foods that are causing us to gain weight. Because I know chocolate bars and pizza are what's actually causing me to gain weight, I know I need to put them down, but at the same time, I'm afraid of not liking these diet foods, right? I'm already predicting I'm going to have to eat salad and vegetables I can't stand, and I'm going to be taking away the fun foods that I just mentioned. So I'm afraid that I'm not even just afraid, I'm afraid because I'm predicting that these foods I don't like are going to make up the bulk of what I'm going to be eating every day. Now, the second thing is that you're afraid of failing. So there's well, what if I cook this meal and then I don't like it? I'm wasting food, I'm wasting money. This is like seen as bad, and not only in my household. Oh gosh, growing up, the idea of throwing food away, yeah, that wasn't even a thing. Wasting money on food that we don't eat wasn't a thing. So I see a lot of people, what they try to do is they try to find recipes to go along with this new diet they're doing. But now we're back to having to buy these foods that I can't stand, and I'm looking at it and it's like, oh, I'm not gonna like this. We're afraid of failing at the diet. What if I don't lose weight doing this? Right? We're afraid of failing. And if I don't lose any weight, then I'm going to be embarrassed because people are going to look at me and like, well, you look the same. So like what, like you didn't lose anything doing this new diet. And that's in my head. I don't want it to happen. I don't want people to know that I tried to lose weight and then it didn't happen. And then of course we have the fear of success. What happens if I actually eat this way and lose the weight? Well, now I'm going to buy a whole new wardrobe. That's going to cost money. But we also have that thing where, well, all these foods that I used to like to eat, now I'm never going to eat them again. And of course, that strikes anxiety and fear in us, right? Because I like those foods. Why would I not want to eat those foods again? That's going to change my whole life. When my friends go out for pizza and beer, I'm not going to be able to go. When there's a birthday party, I'm not going to be able to have cake. It's scary to think that if I'm successful and I actually lose the weight, well, then I can't eat this stuff anymore. And even more scary, I will need to socialize. And I might actually now be in the position where I have no excuse why I'm not dating. I have no excuse why I'm not going out I have no excuse why I'm not shopping more, because I used to avoid shopping because it was a very embarrassing situation for me to try to find clothes that fit. Well, why am I not shopping? We are not comfortable with our bodies. And now I'm going to put in all these stories where people might actually see my body. Succeeding can be very scary. Wellness warriors, if you want to overcome your fears, then we need to answer each one of these problems that I just put in front of you. And the first one that we're going to tackle is, what foods am I actually going to eat? Well, in fact, my expectation is that you eat familiar foods. Rather than starting a new diet and then completely shifting everything that's on your plate, how about if we, for example, if we were going to do a keto diet, look at the foods I'm already eating. I'm going to look at my meal plan. And I'm going to find the meats in there that are obviously going to stay. And then I'm going to find the low glycemic vegetables that I probably am already eating. So I'm going to be able to keep most of my salads. I'm going to be able to keep most of the things like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, asparagus, kale. A lot of us are already eating these things, spinach. We're already eating these things once in a while. All I'm really doing is I'm going to take those things that I eat once in a while and I'm going to bring them into my diet more often. And finally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the high glycemic foods off my plate. So if I do that, my plate isn't going to look strange to me. It's actually going to be full of foods that I'm used to eating. Now let's tackle, what if I fail? Well, first of all, if I actually fail, I'm no better off than when I started, so I might as well try. But if I start by eating foods that I'm used to and that I know I already like because I eat them sometimes, then the chances that I have zero gains is very low. This is also going to mean that I eliminate that fear that I waste my money and waste my food. I'm used to eating these things. So I'm not going to fail in that sense of like, oh, now I threw food away, or now right? I didn't stress about cooking. So that whole idea that I don't know how to cook and I'm going to ruin the food is gone. Let's tackle the idea, what if I succeed? The truth is, the changes happen slowly over time. You're not going to be 70 pounds overweight like I was, and then this in 2 days. It took months to get here. And because it takes you months to get here, well, actually, in fact, you have a little bit of time to slowly, for example, buy some clothing, slowly get used to eating differently around friends, and slowly get used to going out with friends again, or going on dates again, or whatever socializing you might have been avoiding doing. We can do it slowly over time. And can I pause and say that that's a challenge that we should do whether we lose the weight or not? Socializing is one of the things that helps to keep us healthy. It's good for the mind. It's good for the spirit. It keeps us centered because humans are social beings. And of course, because our weight loss happens slowly over time, we get used to eating these healthy foods. Our palate changes and it allows us to actually like these foods. And I can honestly tell you, I dislike those high carb foods now, which means our health becomes a priority over chasing flavors. In fact, when we lose weight, the most exciting part is feeling better physically. We tend to have more energy. We tend to have better mental clarity. And many of us who are on medication for metabolic issues can get off our medication. By the time that we have all those benefits, we're usually very willing to eat differently than everybody else because of the positive physiological that we have achieved. The problem is that most people who lose weight on a crash diet where they're struggling and fighting against all of their instincts, hungry all the time, and not really enjoying their life while they're on the diet, don't reap those benefits of feeling better because we tortured ourselves to get there. By taking this path, by looking at your food and keeping the good stuff and dropping the stuff that isn't helping you, you actually end up losing the weight, feeling better, and being able to maintain that weight loss. I've done it now for 4 years. And as a matter of fact, because I chose to do a keto diet, my cravings, so the chasing of all those garbage foods, are gone, which makes it much easier to stick to eating healthy foods all the time. It's time for you to take action, Wellness Warriors. Look at your meal plan. Look at the foods you're currently eating. What foods are low in carbohydrate? Healthy foods. What protein, so what meats, fish, eggs are you already eating that you're going to keep? And everything that's high in sugar, so high in carbohydrate, sugar, two words for the same thing. Everything that's high in sugar, take it out of your diet. And I want you to commit to eating those foods moving forward. Now that's going to be tricky to do if you're currently addicted to sugar. If you want to solve your sugar addiction, click the video on the screen right there. I'm going to meet you over there.